We begin today's wrestling news and rumors video with some news regarding former Intercontinental Champion Curtis Axel, who has been in the news following Monday Night Raw this week, as Curtis Axel was featured on Raw during the intense brawl segment between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, with Axel being one of the backstage producers or staff attempting to break up Rollins and Rhodes. Now we have some pretty great news to share regarding Curtis Axel's status in WWE, because his appearance on Raw this week was far from being a one-off kind of thing, and according to one of our sources, Curtis Axel has been hired by WWE as a backstage producer, after previously getting released from the company back in 2020 as a talent during the crazy budget cuts phase. Now with Curtis Axel being in his early 40s and considering towards the end of his run in WWE, Curtis was featured as nothing more than an enhancement talent, getting rehired by WWE as a backstage producer is great news for Axel, and he certainly has a great mind for the business, so this was a great signing by WWE for sure, and it is nice to see Curtis Axel back in the company. Now, while the trend for the longest time was that some big-name WWE superstars who felt that they were being mistreated or underutilized would leave the company and then jump ship over to AEW All Elite Wrestling, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes has definitely changed the perspective quite a bit, as Cody was a major AEW star who decided to leave All Elite Wrestling and return back to WWE at WrestleMania 38, and since then Cody Rhodes has been treated like a huge star by Vince McMahon, racking up multiple impressive wins over Seth Rollins and seemingly putting himself in a great position to soon challenge for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, or one of the world titles if WWE break up that undisputed championship in the near future, like it has been speculated and rumored. With Cody Rhodes leaving AEW for WWE, this could very well signal the beginning of more AEW talent making the move over to WWE, because according to a new backstage rumor, following Cody Rhodes' move back to WWE, and with the way he has been treated and presented by the company since coming back, there are reportedly some stars in AEW who have changed their minds about the idea of leaving AEW for WWE, and that it essentially looks a lot more appealing now than it did before Rhodes returned at WrestleMania. With MJF seemingly being extremely unhappy in AEW with the way he's been treated and not getting paid what he feels he deserves, there is a chance that MJF could be the next huge AEW superstar to jump ship over to WWE. And this would really change the outlook that a lot of fans have, and would definitely send a message that WWE can just as easily be a great option for AEW stars to go to, just like how AEW has been a great option for some of the WWE's more underutilized talent. Cody Rhodes has definitely been booked exceptionally well following his return at WrestleMania 38, and despite the concern from fans that WWE would quickly lose interest in Cody Rhodes, that clearly is not the case, and his push seems like it's only getting started. And there's no doubt that Cody Rhodes will have another phenomenal performance at Hell in a Cell 2022 this weekend. Now with Bray Wyatt teasing his return to wrestling this week, this has not surprisingly caused there to be a ton of rumors and speculation going into WWE's Hell in a Cell 2022 premium live event, as the Fiend Bray Wyatt could essentially be on his way back to WWE and making a momentous return to the company after last being seen on the April 12th Raw episode after WrestleMania 37. While there is a chance that Bray Wyatt could end up deciding to join All Elite Wrestling, with Tony Khan previously expressing interest in Wyatt, a new behind-the-scenes rumor has revealed that as of right now, all signs point to Bray Wyatt coming back to WWE, and that there may be some contract negotiations going on right now between Bray Wyatt and Vince McMahon. It's unknown at this point if the Fiend Bray Wyatt will be returning to WWE at Hell in a Cell this weekend, but it would definitely present a perfect setting or stage for Bray's comeback, and it would certainly add a huge amount of buzz and hype surrounding WWE coming out of Hell in a Cell, and that is definitely something WWE needs right now when their biggest draw, Roman Reigns, is out of action for the time being. However, even if the Fiend Bray Wyatt does not return at Hell in a Cell 2022, it still seems like Bray Wyatt could be on his way back to WWE in the near future, which is great news for fans, as the Fiend was one of the most interesting aspects of WWE while he was there for sure. Now, it doesn't appear as though many WWE superstars are wanting to speak or comment on Sasha Banks' and Naomi's walkout of WWE a few weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, and this really is not too surprising, seeing as though it was reported that many superstars were not very happy about Sasha's and Naomi's walkout of WWE, and the current Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair had very little to say about this ongoing situation in a recent interview. When Bianca was asked about her thoughts on Sasha Banks and Naomi walking out of WWE, this is what Bianca had to say, quote, "I've shared some amazing moments with them both, and I'd rather not speak on it. That's their story to share, and they should be the first ones to speak on it." Now, hopefully we get some more information on Sasha Banks' and Naomi's statuses in WWE since their walkout soon, because as of right now, the situation is incredibly bleak, and there's still no signs of WWE bringing the former Women's Tag Team Champions back, which is very concerning for fans. Now, one of the bigger wrestling news stories this week was regarding Lacey Evans mysteriously not being featured on Monday Night Raw this week, despite being advertised by the company to be making her return to action on the show. And there was absolutely no talk regarding Lacey Evans by the Raw commentators, or no mention of why she wasn't on the show, which not surprisingly was pretty concerning for Lacey Evans fans out there, who were expecting her to come back on Raw. According to one of our sources, despite not even making her return on Raw this week, Lacey Evans has now been moved over to Friday Night SmackDown, and she was reportedly backstage going into SmackDown tonight. So if Lacey did end up appearing on SmackDown tonight, with this video being posted after the blue brand this week, then that should clarify that WWE have basically moved Lacey Evans over to SmackDown, and completely cancelled the plans of Lacey being featured on Monday Night Raw. There is also speculation that while WWE were initially considering for Lacey Evans to return as a babyface, that was the plan for Lacey if she would have returned on Monday Night Raw, and as of right now, there is talk that she will be coming back as a heel on SmackDown. Randy Orton may be making a sad return to WWE in the near future to update fans on his status after being taken off television because of a serious back injury, but according to a breaking new backstage rumor, Randy Orton's injury may shockingly be a part of a storyline, and while there is definitely some truth to Randy's injury, WWE may have made it out to be way worse than it actually is, only to set up an absolutely huge storyline swerve when it comes to Roman Reigns. There is a rumor going around that WWE will be having Randy Orton return to WWE, either on Raw or SmackDown in the coming weeks, and may appear like it would be a sad return for Randy, with the Viper likely to appear unwell, but there is speculation that Randy Orton may be cleared to wrestle again by SummerSlam 2022, and Randy Orton would be playing up his unfortunate injury for a while, only to eventually blindside Roman Reigns going into the pay-per-view, leading to a huge match between Randy Orton and Roman Reigns for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship at SummerSlam 2022. So while Randy Orton has definitely suffered from back problems recently, WWE may very well be using this whole Randy Orton injury angle, with Randy planning to take down the Bloodline's leader Roman Reigns.